Have you ever truly noticed? Have you ever stopped to think that some of the smallest, most ordinary actions in your day could be hidden doorways for Shaytan's whispers? Yes, even the way you sit, the place you choose to rest, or the posture you take without a second thought might be slowly weakening your soul. What if these seemingly harmless habits were actually traps, carefully laid to pull you away from Allah's remembrance? The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, once revealed a subtle but powerful warning about a common gesture, one that many of us do mindlessly, yet it opens a path for evil's influence. Are you aware of it? Are you guarding yourself against it? The lost wisdom of Islamic spirituality. Today we uncover a hidden treasure from the depths of Islamic wisdom, a secret preserved in the teachings of our faith, supported by authentic hadith, and illuminated by the profound insights of our scholars. This isn't just another reminder. This is a rare insight, a spiritual key that many have forgotten or never even known. But here's why this matters to you. What you are about to learn could be the shield that protects your iman from unseen dangers, dangers that silently weaken countless believers without them realizing it. And before we go deeper, let me ask you, if you're truly seeking Allah's light, if you yearn for deeper faith and divine protection, then why hesitate? Join this journey of awakening. Hit subscribe, tap the bell, and ensure you never miss these life-changing reminders. Because knowledge without action is like a lamp unlit. It won't guide your way. Now settle in, but choose your spot wisely, because by the end of this, you may never sit the same way again. Your soul's safety could depend on it. The Prophet's warning: never sit between light and shadow. Picture this: you're resting under a tree, half your body bathed in warm sunlight, the other half cooled by shade. It feels comfortable, natural, completely harmless. But did you know this simple act carries a profound spiritual warning? The beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, once guided us with these powerful words: when one of you sits, let him avoid sitting halfway in the shade and halfway in the sun, for that is where Shaytan sits. Abu Dawud. This isn't just about physical comfort. It's a hidden lesson, a divine insight into the unseen world. Light and darkness, more than meets the eye. In Islam, nothing is without meaning. Light isn't just brightness. It's a symbol of guidance, clarity, and Allah's mercy. Darkness isn't just the absence of light. It represents the unknown, the hidden, the spaces where evil lingers. When you sit between the two, you're not just choosing a spot, you're positioning your soul in a dangerous middle ground. And that's exactly where Shaytan waits. Why? Because he thrives in uncertainty. He preys on hesitation, on those moments when your faith isn't fully strong, but not entirely weak. He slips into the gaps, the in-between spaces of our lives. The Prophet's teaching isn't just about where to sit. It's a mirror for the soul. Are you standing firmly in the light of faith or lingering in the shadows of doubt? A simple act with a deep lesson. Next time you take a seat, remember, even the smallest actions carry weight in the unseen world. The Prophet, peace be upon him, didn't just give us rules. He gave us protection. So choose your place wisely, not just for your body, but for your soul. Because in Islam, every detail matters, and every warning is a mercy. Will you take this lesson to heart? The choice, like light and shadow, is yours. The true strength of a believer. What makes a believer truly great? It's not wealth, nor fame, nor worldly power, but something far more profound. The ability to believe in what the eyes cannot see. Allah, glorified and exalted is He, praises such souls in the Quran. Those who believe in the unseen. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:3. This isn't about superstition or fairy tales. It's about recognizing the deeper layers of existence, realities that surround us yet remain hidden from sight. Angels recording our deeds, jinn moving among us, the realm of souls, and the whispers of Shaytan. A true believer doesn't need physical proof. When the prophet, peace be upon him, speaks, they listen. When Allah commands, they submit. Their faith isn't shaken by what science hasn't yet explained, because their trust in divine wisdom runs deeper than human understanding. Faith in an age of doubt. Look at the world today. If something can't be measured, tested, or photographed, many dismiss it as mere myth. But the believer stands firm, knowing that some truths are beyond laboratories and logic. The prophet's teachings aren't up for debate. They're to be followed wholeheartedly. A Muslim doesn't say, "Prove it to me first." Instead, they humbly respond, "We hear and we obey." This is the essence of true Islamic wisdom. The greatest secrets aren't always shouted. They're found in quiet obedience, in the small acts of devotion that go unnoticed by the world, but are treasured by Allah. A simple act, a profound truth. So yes, avoiding the space between light and shade might seem trivial to some, but in the sight of Allah, it's monumental, because every outward action mirrors an inner reality. Are you standing firmly in the light of faith, or lingering in the shadows of doubt? Or worse, wavering between the two, giving Shaytan the opening he seeks? The choice is yours. And in that choice lies the test of a believer's heart. Will you follow the unseen truth? Will you obey even when the wisdom isn't immediately clear? That's where real Iman shines brightest, not in what the world sees, but in what Allah knows is in your soul. The unseen battle, a believer's true test. There exists a hidden dimension to our faith, one where the greatest battles are fought, not with swords, but with submission. This prophetic teaching about light and shadow isn't merely about where we sit. It's a mirror held up to our spiritual state. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, could have created a world where everything was visible, where faith required no test, but He chose to make belief beautiful by veiling certain truths, not to confuse us, but to elevate those who choose to trust without seeing. The mark of true faith. When the Quran praises those who believe in the unseen, it's describing a special kind of courage, the courage to accept that our knowledge is limited, but Allah's wisdom is perfect. Follow guidance even when its full meaning isn't apparent. Recognize that the spiritual world operates by divine laws, not human logic. This isn't blind faith, it's enlightened faith, the kind that understands some truths are absorbed by the heart before they're understood by the mind. The miracle of submission. Consider the profound humility of our Prophet's companions. When they heard a teaching, they didn't ask for scientific studies or demand rational explanations. Their response was immediate. We hear and we obey. This is where Islam truly begins, not in philosophical debates, but in that sacred moment when a believer says, "My Lord has spoken, and that is enough for me." Every time we avoid sitting between light and shadow, rush to pray Fajr before sunrise, turn away from doubtful matters, we're not just following rules, we're demonstrating a faith that transcends the visible world. Your spiritual crossroads. The modern world may mock what it cannot measure, but you, the believer, know better. You understand that the greatest realities are often those we cannot see with our eyes, only perceive with our hearts. So the next time you find yourself questioning a sunnah that seems unusual, hesitating to follow a teaching that defies common sense, wavering between doubt and certainty, remember, this is your moment to join the ranks of those who believe in the unseen, the spiritual elite whom Allah Himself has praised. Will you take that step? The unseen world is waiting for your answer. The sacred rebellion of the believing heart. In an age where seeing is believing, the Muslim stands as a spiritual revolutionary, armed not with skepticism, but with submission. While the world demands proof for every truth, you embrace the unseen realities of Islam, not as blind faith, but as higher faith. Allah describes this divine illumination in Surah An-Nur. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. 24:35. The hidden wisdom. This isn't physical light. It's the radiant guidance that transforms hearts willing to receive it. When you accept what lurks between light and shadow, you're not being superstitious. You're demonstrating wisdom far beyond what eyes can see. The whisper of the unseen world. Have you ever felt an unexplained presence during late-night worship? Experienced sudden clarity while making a difficult decision? Known something was wrong despite all visible signs being fine? These weren't coincidences. They were glimpses behind the veil. Islam doesn't dismiss these experiences. It explains them. Our faith doesn't deny the invisible world. It maps it. The courage to believe every time you wake for tahajjud when science says you need sleep. Turn away from sin when no one is watching. Follow a sunnah that doesn't make sense. You're not being irrational. You're being transrational. You're acknowledging that human logic has limits, but divine wisdom does not. This is the ultimate act of courage in our times. To say, I believe because my Lord has spoken, not because my mind has comprehended. You are not alone. Remember this when doubt whispers. The prophets walked this path before you. The martyrs died upholding these truths. The righteous still live by them today. Allah promises, indeed, Allah is with those who fear Him. Quran 16:128. Not with those who demand proof, but with those who trust without seeing. The greatest battles aren't fought with weapons. They are fought with faith. And in this unseen war, your simple acts of obedience are revolutionary acts. Will you continue the rebellion? The unseen world is counting on you. The hidden wisdom in everyday obedience. Imagine this. You wake up before dawn, still heavy with sleep. As you perform wudu, you carefully wash your nostrils 3 times. Why? Because the Prophet, peace be upon him, told us that Shaytan spends the night there. Can you see him? Do you feel different afterward? Maybe not, but you do it anyway. This simple act contains a profound lesson. True faith means obeying, even when we don't fully understand. Living proofs of unseen realities. The Fajr prayer protection. When you consistently miss Fajr, the Prophet warned that Shaytan urinates in your ears. This isn't poetic imagery. It's spiritual reality. Now imagine, every time you wake for Fajr, you're not just praying, you're cleansing your spiritual senses. The shoe test. Ever walked with one shoe? The Prophet forbade it. Why? Because that's how Shaytan walks. Your footwear becomes more than convenience. It's a statement. I refuse to resemble my enemy. The 3-time rule? Washing nostrils 3 times, drinking water in 3 sips. These aren't random numbers. They're divine prescriptions against unseen harms. Why these details matter? Each of these acts is like a spiritual vaccine against invisible diseases, an armor against attacks you can't see, a declaration that your faith isn't limited by what your eyes can perceive. The beauty. The more you practice these sunnahs, the sharper your spiritual intuition becomes. The more protected you are from hidden dangers, the closer you grow to the prophetic way. A challenge for the soul. Ask yourself today, How many of these small teachings have I been neglecting? What blessings might I be missing by demanding explanations first? Am I willing to obey even when the wisdom isn't immediately clear? This is where real faith shines, not in grand gestures, but in quiet obedience to truths beyond our sight. Your next act of worship, no matter how small, could be closing a door Shaytan has been using. Will you take that step? The unseen world is watching. The radiance of unquestioning obedience. There exists a sacred space between knowledge and submission, where the heart bows before divine wisdom without demanding explanations. This is where true faith blossoms, when a believer declares, "Samina wa atana," we hear and we obey. They're not surrendering their intellect. They're elevating their soul to a higher plane of understanding. The divine equation 1. Allah commands. 2. The believer obeys. 3. Wisdom follows. This is the golden sequence of Islamic spirituality. Notice the order. First comes submission, then comes understanding. Sometimes in this life, sometimes in the next. Living testimonies of faith. The wine paradox. When Allah prohibited alcohol, He didn't first explain liver cirrhosis or drunk driving accidents. The command stood on divine authority. Centuries later, science would confirm what revelation decreed. The Prophet's swollen feet. Why would Muhammad, peace be upon him, pray until his feet swelled when he was already guaranteed paradise? Because true love doesn't calculate minimum requirements. It seeks every possible way to please the beloved. Adam's ultimate test. The forbidden tree looked identical to others in paradise. The test wasn't in the fruit's appearance, but in the simple choice to obey without understanding the why. The modern crisis of faith. Today's spiritual epidemic, the demand to understand before believing, analyze before submitting, Google before obeying. But the Quran begins by praising those who believe in the unseen, not those who believe only in laboratory results. Your spiritual crossroads. Every divine command presents you with a choice. The path of I won't obey until I understand. The path of I obey because my Lord has spoken. One leads to arrogance and distance, the other to elevation and nearness. The hidden gift in submission. When you wash your nostrils at dawn without seeing Shaytan. Avoid sitting between light and shadow without knowing why. Reject alcohol before understanding its harms. You're not being irrational. You're exercising spiritual intelligence. You're demonstrating trust in the all-knowing over your limited knowing. A call to higher faith. The next time you encounter a divine command that puzzles your mind but resonates with your soul, remember, angels record your act of surrender. The unseen world witnesses your faith. Allah prepares rewards no eye has seen. This is the essence of Islam, not a faith of blind followers, but of those who see with the light of divine guidance what others miss with human logic alone. Will you be among those who obey first and understand later? The gates of spiritual illumination await those who answer with their actions. The ultimate test. Can you say, with absolute certainty right now in this sacred moment, that when Allah commands, you will obey even when your mind struggles to comprehend? This isn't about blind faith. This is about enlightened surrender, recognizing that the Creator's wisdom infinitely surpasses the creation's understanding. Make your declaration. Type these words now. Let them be your spiritual signature. I obey Allah's commands without condition. This simple sentence carries the weight of your rejection of Shaytan's first sin, arrogance, your alignment with the Prophet's perfect submission, your commitment to walk in divine light, even through unseen valleys. Your next spiritual step. Subscribe, plus click the bell. Don't let this connection end here. The next revelation awaits in our upcoming video. Those dreams only chosen hearts can understand. Divine messages in your sleep. Prophetic interpretations of visions. Why some souls receive special nocturnal communications. This isn't just another video. It's a key to unlocking your spiritual perception. A parting whisper from the unseen. You are being called to something greater than passive belief. The path of Samina wa Atana leads to mysteries unveiled, spiritual senses awakened, divine protections activated. The choice is yours. Will you scroll away unchanged or subscribe, commit, and embark on this journey to higher faith? Indeed, Allah is with those who fear Him and those who are doers of good. Quran 16:128. Until our next meeting in the Garden of Divine Reminders, your brother and sister in faith. P.S. That strange feeling you've had while reading this? That wasn't coincidence. It was the unseen world confirming this message is for you. Don't ignore it.